Wally Szczerbiak has been on the show before, former T-Wolf forward, made a couple of All-Star games. You see him on MSG locally with the Knicks and CBS Sports Network college hoops analyst. Wally, it's Tiki and Tierney. Condolences, man. How are you today besides obviously hurting a bit? What's happening, buddy?
Well, obviously mourning the loss of Flip and I was just shocked. And, I remember when the news first hit, that Flip did have cancer back about 5-6 months ago. And the doctors were very positive on the prognosis. And, then around the basketball world, a couple people had said he made a turn for the worse in the past month. And for him to pass yesterday was just, I think, a shock to a lot of people. He was just such a great guy. I remember him first and foremost as a great dad, a great husband, just a great person. Other than being a great coach and helping groom my career, he had all his priorities intact as a man. And, that's what I really feel for him. My prayers and condolences are obviously with Debbie, his wife, and his family, his 4 kids, because he was a great guy, a great dad, and he's going to be missed most by them, but also by the whole entire basketball community.
Yeah, that goes without saying, Wally, and we appreciate your thoughts on that. What made him such a great coach? We know he got into it. I mean, it's what he was born to do. He got into it right after he left college, and obviously got his first stint in the NBA because of his college teammate, Kevin McHale. But what made him such a good coach?
Well, he was a great offensive mind. He really knew the game offensively. He was a great scorer as a kid. So, as a guy growing up in Cleveland, he was a very good basketball player. So he really knew the game. But I just think the way he treated all of his players, he treated them like men. I remember one thing he always said to us is, I'm never going to say anything bad about you guys in the media. After a game, if we lose by 40, it's going to all be on me. It's not going to be on you guys. And that's one thing he really stuck to. He never aired anything out in the media. He always stood by the side of his players. And, he was a very loyal coach. He was a player's coach. And he was a guy that wanted to get to know each individual guy on his team. For me, him and Kevin McHale, they were the general manager, coach, and Kevin McHale was the vice president. They drafted me number 6 in a big year for that franchise. And, they helped groom my career in the prime of my career in Minnesota to be an all-star and, make the playoffs and accomplish great things with that franchise. So, I'm very thankful for him for that, for grooming me at a very impressionable time in my career and, taking me to great heights in my NBA career. I owe a lot to him.
There you go. Talking to Wally Szczerbiak, as he said, and certainly worth reiterating, played in the All-Star game with Minnesota. Great college career, Miami of Ohio, which is a small school. And back then, maybe you didn't reach into that, middle tier, mid-major, but the T-Wolves saw something in Wally and Flip Saunders, a big part of that. When was the last time you spoke with him, Wally? Do you remember vividly what that conversation was about?
Yeah, since he was been in the media, the past few years, we had kept in touch. And, we were talking about, different things as far as the game, as far as what's going to be going on with, just the overall game of basketball. And, next thing I saw is he went back to Minnesota as a part owner role and, got back on the bench. And it just goes to show how much Glenn Taylor respected him and how much trust and faith he had in him. To help run that franchise and help get that franchise to the promised land. Like we had some good years, back when, I was on the team back from 99 to 2005, 2006. So, I had kept in touch with him just about, what was going on with the Timberwolves and the team, and then obviously leaned on him for some things through the media. And, it's just a huge loss. And, a guy I'll never forget because he did so much for me.
What do you think happens now with the Timberwolves? If as a team, obviously he brings KG back, and we all know the story of him drafting KG, one of the few, straight out of high school kids who panned out, and he brings them back because they have such a young team and they wanted that veteran leader to be there. But what do you think happens with the Timberwolves going forward now?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be tough in the immediate future. Sam Mitchell's obviously a great coach. He's the interim coach, and he was a big part of that Timberwolves community. When I was there, he was my veteran, helped groom me also, as a guy on that team when I came into the league. And I'm sure for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be really tough. Obviously dealing with the passing of Flip, it's going to be tough to do your job, but those guys are going to have to figure out a way to do it. I think the future is very bright for that franchise. I think Flip, with the decisions he made, with how he pulled off the Kevin Love trade, with all the great draft picks that he accumulated, that team has a very promising future. And, when you get that type of talent at a young age, you're going to start winning some games in this league. It's just unfortunate Flip couldn't see it through. I think they have great guys that are going to help see it, all Flip's decisions through and make them, look like really good decisions. And, KG going back there, I think it's great. He was great for that city. He was great for that franchise. And obviously he's not the same player he was back in his prime, but he's a guy that has wisdom beyond his years, and he'll be able to pass that on to the young guys and help the Timberwolves get back to, with their winning ways back when he was there.
Hey, Wally, before we let you go, just a general state of the league here. The Szczerbiak's off-the-cuff top 5 power poll. No specific order, but who do you think are the 5 best teams on paper coming into the season?
As far as the whole NBA?
Yeah.
Let's see. Obviously, Golden State, San Antonio out west.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say Chicago and Cleveland in the east.
Okay.
And then let's throw in one little sleeper team there.
Maybe the Rockets?
Yeah, I like the Rockets.
Clippers?
Depending on Dwight Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on Dwight Howard. Yeah, I'll go with the Clips. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
actually go with the Clips. Doc Rivers, I think he's got good things brewing out there out west. So I'll go with my old coach and Doc.
Wally, real quick before we let you go, you talk about Golden State. And we all know the news on Steve Kerr. He's not going to be on the bench maybe for a little while. What's how is that team, I guess, good enough to be okay without him?
Yes, there's no question. I think, coaches will tell you you're only as good as your staff. So Steve Kerr is going to have a lot of faith in his staff and other guys to step up and kind of pull the reins and, get that team, in the right direction with the talent they have. I can't see them, maybe missing a little bit of a beat because they had such a great year last year, but I still see them being a huge impact and a big factor. That team just has too many players and too much talent.
Wally, I know we'll have you throughout the season, man. Really just wanted to give you a couple of minutes to let the nation hear a little bit more about Flip. Condolences from us again to you, and I know we'll be talking down the road. Thanks a lot. Appreciate a few minutes, man.
My pleasure, guys. Have a good one.